God is writing all the time. 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 That's what I heard growing up. That God had this big blackboard with my name on it. And every time I did something wrong, God would write it down. And every time I did something wrong, God would write that down. And every time I did another thing wrong, God would write it down. God was writing all the time. Now there was, you know, if I prayed, and I never understood how big God's blackboard was. I'm sure I kept God writing a lot. But there was good news. There was good news. If I asked for forgiveness, God would erase the board and I have a clean slate. So I was okay. But the thing of it is that I wanted to make sure that I had a clean slate, because if the angel Gabriel blew the trumpet, signifying the end of the world, and I didn't have my slate clean, I was going to go to H-E double hockey sticks. And so growing up, and it's interesting because it wasn't my parents, it wasn't my family. Even though my father was the minister of the church, it wasn't him. It was the lady that led the children's group who kept reminding us that God's writing all the time. And so I grew with that fear and obsessing over what I did because I didn't want it to be written down and I get caught off guard. And I particularly was afraid that Gabriel was going to blow his trumpet while I was still little. And anytime there was a big noise in my town, because they said you would know it when Gabriel blew the horn, because it would be, and there was one particular day, I still remember that like it was yesterday, when there was a factory in the town. There was an explosion at the factory that shook the entire town. Fortunately, nobody was hurt, but I was messed up for the rest of the day. Because I just knew that was it. But all along that time, there was something deep inside of me that was saying something different. Every time I would hear God's writing all the time, God is judging, God is condemning, God is criticizing, God is keeping score, God is tallying up, God is writing, there was something inside of me that was telling me something was different. So I started challenging, even as a little kid, what was being taught to me. And the thing of it is as I was saying things, because it didn't sound right, it didn't feel right, one of the things that happened was I heard one of the women say something about me, so I consulted what was my Google back in the day. And said, Mom and Daddy, what does contrary mean? What does contrary mean? That's what I got labeled, because I didn't believe the story that I was being told, because something inside of me was telling me something was different than the reality I was being given. Something was showing me differently. And it started, I know, one day that I became clearly aware of it when I almost drowned. And as I was there panicking, and the water was closing in, and this white light just appeared in the water. And a voice told me what to do. And there was another feeling of calm that came over me, and I got out of there. And I realized that there was something that was guiding me rather than judging me, rather than fighting. And more, as life continued to move for me, I continued to hear that voice, to have that feeling, and every now and then that light would show up. And when I became a teenager, I found some books that I read that let me know that instead of God getting me, oh yeah, I caught you. God got me. And not in the sense of, aha, I'm going to hell, fire, and brimstone. But I got you in love. And so I continued to read that material, and it took me a while to move beyond the clutter and the confusion and all of the other traditional ways of seeing things and ways being taught, because I got to that stage where I began to hear that voice more and more. But then I was being told again that you can't trust that voice, because how do you know that's not the devil tricking you? And so I had to continue, though, listening to that voice. And it said, but you don't need to listen to that voice, because after all, everything you need to know to do, the Bible will tell you. And again, there was something inside of me that said, I guess it was contrary, John, that said that there's more. And if this thing that's being called the Word of God was the Word of God, then God could speak to me. But no, that's reserved for those people back there. They had a connection with God and spoke to God, and God spoke to them. But now you listen to us, you listen to this book, and you follow that. But there was something in me that was saying, there's more to this. And so I continued exploring that journey and continued listening to that voice that continued to be insistent and say, I got you. And I began recognizing that voice, and it's taken me a while, and I'm still working on it, learning to trust that voice, to trust that guidance, to see that light, to feel that feeling. But the thing of it is that what I began to go and learn again as I started looking at other things, and somebody told me reading those strange books one time, but there was a part of me that whenever I read those things, knew that it wasn't just somebody's outlandish idea, but I was recognizing the truth, again, that I already knew, that was deep inside. And so I continued on that journey in understanding that God's got me. That God, instead of writing, is guiding. And so understanding that and cultivating that to the degree that I started to look around me at things that happened in my life, and me begin to understand that there was guidance there. And that the good news is that the guidance wasn't just relegated to people back in the Bible, but the Word of God was living, and it was a part of me, and it was expressing in and as and through me. And the thing of it is, it was the same for everybody else. And you didn't have to be special. You didn't have to have a title in front of your name or letters behind it. You didn't have to wear any particular garment or anything like that. But that was available right here and right now when we learn to listen. And when I started looking at those events that were happening in my life, one of the things I began to recognize and realize is that all throughout there was this thread of guidance that was there. And I remember somebody saying, well, what if it's coincidence? And I said, what if it's expansion? And so what do you mean I said, what if what you call coincidence, oh, that probably would have happened anyway. And I say that that's expansion, said it exactly happened as it was supposed to be. And rather than me trying to narrow it down and make coincidence that something that is negative, recognizing and realizing that things happen just as they should. And here's the really fascinating thing about that. That sometimes even if it was a wrong turn, even if something didn't go right, I did the wrong thing, I didn't listen to that guidance, it was still available to me to help turn around. Sometimes it might have been a U-turn, it might have been another turn, it might have been this, it might have been that. But the thing of this, that guidance stayed there. And it continues. And the idea is that when we feel out of sync, when we feel sometimes out of whack, and we've got emotions and all of this stuff and everything like that, that's that guidance system that's telling us that, hey, wait a minute, hold up. You're not in alignment. You're not where you should be. You're not listening the way you ought to be. I've got something for you. Don't worry about that right now. I know you're thinking about this and wondering how you're going to do that and take care of this and all of those things. But trust me, because I am here. And that guidance is available each and every day. It's available. In the book that we've been studying in the class, E-Squared, Pam Grout talks about the fact that so many times what happens to us when that inner guidance comes to us, we're like a little child that puts our hands over our ears and go la 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 la. I can't take it. I don't trust it. It is there for us. In James Redfield's book, The Secret of the Shambhala, when the guy that came there, found himself on that journey for looking for the Shambhala, and that was a mythical place, a mystical place that was supposed to be where prayer was expressed and all of that. And he had all of these things happen on the journey. And when he finally made it there, and he discovered the teachers, they let him know that nothing that occurred to you happened by chance. It was all about synchronicity. And there was one time he was trying to get away from some Chinese soldiers that were chasing him, and this car showed up. And he saw the car and he thought about, well, maybe the car might be for me, but nah, it couldn't be that way. I've got my rational mind and everything like that, so I'm just going to run on past. And they got him and they arrested him. And when he got there and started talking to the teachers, they said, you know, that car was there? Had you taken the opportunity to know that it showed up? There were several other times where that happened. And when I look at my own life, there are things, situations, and people and circumstances that have shown up just right when I needed it. But rather than recognize the gift that it was, I was looking for something else. I've shared this story before. Remember being in seminary, and there was a time in which I had no money. I was waiting on getting paid and all of that. I had very little food in my house, and there was a woman in the church where I was working and going to and everything like that, that, you know, to be quite honest, she could talk and talk and talk. Didn't want to see her, but that day I got in my car and I went driving for some reason, I don't know what it is. And this whole time I'm saying, you know, God, here I am. You know, I made the decision, got out of college, was looking for a job, and things opened up to come to seminary. I felt my call to the ministry. I'm here, I'm hungry, I need some money, I can buy some food. Everything, looking around for it, looking around for it, looking around for it. And I happened to find myself driving down her street. And me saying, I hope she's not out in New York. And she was out in New York. She flagged me down. Okay, I'm getting in this conversation with her, but you know, I still need some money. I'm almost going to be out of gas pretty soon. How am I going to pay for gas and buy food? She brings me in the house. She starts talking. I'm going, yes. Come on back with me in the kitchen, yes. Walk into the kitchen, there's 2 bags of groceries sitting on the kitchen table. Still not thinking, still thinking about how am I going to get the money so I can get some food and everything. Because I know you're a student and everything, and I know sometimes it gets hard. I was at the grocery store and I picked up a few things because you were on my mind. I don't know why, but I was thinking about you and think you might use this. Took the groceries. Still walking out going, I would need some money. Driving on back home, when we finally a voice said, it's already been done. The money you were going to spend on food, put some gas in your car, fool. To this day, I still can't tell you what led me to drive down her street. I still can't tell you what made her, when she was at the grocery store, think of me and get 2 bags full of groceries and somehow just happened to be out in the yard at the time that I drove by. Coincidence, maybe? I like to say it's God. It's the universe, it's source. It's whatever we choose to call it. And it's available, it's here, it's now, it's us, it's speaking through us, it's talking to us, it's working with us, it's loving us, it's guiding us, it's being us, it's showing up, it's demonstrating, it's manifesting, it's being all of the things that we need to be. It's right here, it's right now, it's a part of who we are. We don't have to go get it, we don't have to pray many times or this or that. It's here for us, it is a part of who we are, it is loving us. It's not writing and finding fault, but it's guiding and showing love, resources, encouragement, empowerment, joy, peace, love, all those things. So it is.